What's good, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another episode of StarChasers-Girls Talk Ball. Yes, y'all. Yes, the hiatus is over. The break is over. Holidays are over. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Happy all of that. Thank you guys so much for joining back in with us. Of course, you know it's Craven Cowboys, your girl, and always I got my sister Star in the building supporting us as always. How you doing tonight, girl?
What's up, guys? What's up to everybody? So glad to be back. It's been a while. We took a month break, but I feel like every time I come on, I'm like, sorry, took a break, but that's okay because breaks are needed. Everybody knows that this was quite the season to get through. Quite the season, but thank God, we got to give ourselves some. Thank God we made it through. We made it.
It was tough, y'all. It was tough. We know as Cowboys fans, we spoiled. We used to with the back-to-back 12-5 seasons. It was mid-season. We was about, we had 500, but we slipped.
Cowboys and then we just cascaded down the hill. Yeah. Then we went back up again. We thought, maybe we could slide in the playoffs with backups. But yeah, we just couldn't get it done. But what's up, Nisi? What's up, Jameson? Jameson, me and Mickey were just talking about you. We're going to be praying for you and your recovery. You said you had your sister's kidney. We'll be praying that her kidney, works. Yeah, and that it works and that it's able to sustain and better your life. But guys, it's been so much happening. But y'all know before we get into the content, to please like the content. Please like the videos on both of our pages. Please share the content if y'all can. Please share it and please subscribe. All of those things are free, 100% free. So if y'all can help us out with that, that would be very great. And then also y'all can see down below our cash apps. If you feel it in your heart to donate to us, please donate. We would appreciate it very much.
Yes, like Star was saying, thank everybody for joining us, just kind of jumping back into things. At least for me, I'll speak for me. I definitely had to kind of get back into the groove, what I'm saying? Get back into
exactly.
Definitely been, keeping an eye out what's going on, like Star was saying, with the season kind of winding down, just decided really to take, just kind of, like she said, to take a break. Honestly, I mean, it's part of life, right? And, me and her were just talking about, holiday season is always busy. And honestly, I don't know if this is the case for anybody else. Just as a fan, a football fan, like these Sunday and Monday and Thursday nights, and they take a lot out of me, saying?
Yeah, it's a lot.
With them early mornings, you feel me? So I'm definitely looking forward to a little bit of extra sleep, I'm saying, on some of them nights, and actually, like Star was saying, get back into the group of making content, bringing you guys back to fire shows, I saw my girl Star tweet about, soon doing some draft content. I see that DallasCowboys.com is starting to put out the draft show, so I'm definitely going to start having to those podcasts, kind of starting to get a feel for what we could possibly see coming into 2025 season. But first, of course, the big breaking, crazy, breaking news that we saw, last couple of days, which was a surprise to me. Just speaking for me, I was definitely surprised, just with Jerry Jones blocking Mike McCarthy's interview with the Bears, the talk kind of, just my opinion, thinking that Mike McCarthy was going to come back with the team. He himself said that he's kind of like a builder. He likes to build programs. Of course, we've seen that throughout the season, really throughout the years, give McCarthy his support. We've seen Micah come out, other players kind of speaking to, kind of fight for Mike McCarthy. We've seen it with the jump, the effort, the energy with the team kind of towards the end of the season. So I really thought all signs were pointing to Mike McCarthy returning with the team. So I was definitely surprised. I mean, I was at work. So seeing the alert flash across my screen, I had to literally stop driving and literally what? But I'm like, what?
What the hell?
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing kind of going, at least for me, going into the next season, thinking about what players we can bring in here. But now here we are again having to kind of fight the conundrum of having, it was one thing to bring a new DC in here. Now a whole new head coach and possibly another new DC. I was talking to Star with off camera, so it's crazy. Star, what's your thoughts on just this crazy week so far? It's only Wednesday, so what's your thoughts on all this?
It's only Wednesday. Going on? I mean, just like you, when the news broke, I mean, immediately I was like, I was surprised. And I immediately kind of went into panic, to be honest, because I'm like, it was just everything was pointing to Mike McCarthy coming back. And I want to put it out there first and say, I was glad and adamant saying, listen, I still think Mike should switch up the play caller, right? But as an overall head coach, I'm like, who are we going to get to come in here who can deal with the antics of Jerry, who can still have us winning with backups, and then give us fully healthy. We have winning seasons, and we have a ticket to the postseason every season fully healthy. So, and then you think about, they had the rumors of the replacements, and people keep talking about Kellen Moore, and I'm like, hell no with Kellen Moore. And I encourage everybody in the chat, if you're on social media platforms, please be putting out hell no to Kellen Moore, no Kellen Moore, because, and I'm glad because I think they said I think Jaden Slater said he hasn't even called Kellen. I'm like, don't call him. But apparently I think the relationship with Kellen and Jerry is strained. Because I think when Kellen left out of here was not good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I guess at the time, he's probably like, "Oh, you listening to Mike? Oh, you taking Mike's side? Oh, okay."
Yeah, allegedly. So I hope don't give him a call, Jerry. Don't even interview him because absolutely not. Like Kellen Moore is not a leader of men. He is about as flat as a pancake, and he is not leading anybody. People was worried about Mike McCarthy. Does he have the personality? Is he a culture builder? All this stuff. Well, if you didn't get it from Mike McCarthy, you damn sure not about to get it out of Kellen Moore. So absolutely, he is not helping us do anything. He has the superheroes over there in the Eagles. His passing game still sucks. It's like no. And people, well, he's running the ball. I'm like, he's running the ball because he has a running back who is on a literal what do you call? Amazing.
Tear.
Yeah, he's on a tear, an amazing MVP season. Right? If the MVP award was open to everybody and not just quarterbacks, you know what I'm saying? Like Saquon would definitely probably be the MVP of this year. So that is why his numbers are high, because Saquon is taking one carry to the house, two, 3 carries to the house. So but no one's getting fooled. Nobody wants Kellen Moore. With Mike McCarthy, and come to find out, Mike McCarthy said, "See ya." You know what I'm saying? Because now they're putting out the report saying Jerry was surprised, and I knew something was off because when Jerry put out his statement, it was not a normal I just thank him for all. It was very you could tell if you read it, you can tell in his tone. It was very annoyed, almost frustrated, almost I can't believe defensive. I can't believe I even basically almost why am I writing this? Because that's the tone. It was
I complimented you. I told you did good. Why are you leaving?
Exactly. I complimented him. I did this. I kept saying how good he was, but I wanted to be known that we never even got into contract negotiations. All of this stuff. It's like, Jerry.
Right. Why did you exactly? We didn't have to know.
Exactly.
You
put that out there because what is Jerry trying to do? He's trying to spin in there. This is what This is what happens. I've been talking behind the scenes to Boss. Shout out to Boss Cowboy. And he's like, this is exactly what happened with Randy Gregory. You wanted Mike McCarthy.
Wow.
You was
I remember that.
Remember, they wanted Randy Gregory. Randy Gregory was signed. They did that sneak stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Gregory said, "I'm out." Right? And so
here comes Jerry trying to get his side out before McCarthy even has a chance.
Exactly. I really hope Mike. It's like, Mike, put your story out. I really hope Mike get a head coaching position so that he can
start.
Because now you can tell Mike and Jerry's relationship is done.
Yes. Period.
It's done because Jay Slater came out talking about Jerry was trying to get Mike to take on Jason Witten. And basically groom Jason Witten to be the next. It's like, Jerry, are you serious?
Oh my gosh!
Only our owner does this. Only our owner does this. I'm gonna keep you, but then I want you to train this guy to take your job in a couple of years. Like, are you crazy?
Right.
And allegedly, that's when Mike was
like, what I want to do.
Exactly. Like, you don't even give me no control. Now you had me with your first boy wonder and Kellen Moore. Now you're trying to put me with Jason Witten. And allegedly, that's when Mike was like, I'm out.
Right, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad that, and I really wish him success, and that's really why
I do too. I really want Mike to do good. I want him to win. I wish him, because I'm like, you know what? That was it was just another good coach that we had.
Another win.
That was never allowed to be themselves here. That had to fight to the nail just to get a little bit of power.
Right.
It was constantly screwed over and dismissed by Jerry Jones. Like somebody forced him to hire him. Like that's the type of shit I don't like about Jerry. It's like, Jerry, you literally had the option to interview whoever you wanted, but you're the one who one interview with Mike, and you went with him, and it's like you're punishing him. Like what? Yeah. Jerry, I said this and I'll say it again. Jerry Jones is a scary man because he is not loyal to anybody. Facts. He's not loyal.
Facts.
He will get rid of you. He don't care how much you come to his office. He don't care how much you go on his yacht. He don't care about them long talks all night. He don't give about none of that shit. He don't care. Jerry gonna do what he want to do, and at the end of the day, he is not loyal, honey. He will replace you in a hot second. Why y'all think Dak, Dak done raking Jerry over the coals, and he's still gonna rake him over the coals because Dak knows Jerry's not to be trusted. You can't trust him. You can trust Jerry as far as you can throw him.
Right. That's absolutely true. I mean, we've seen it once again this offseason. When we see last season, you give him a fourth round. You just randomly decide to call the 49 and it was like, hey, let's get Trey Lance right quick. And now all of a sudden, you give away another fourth round pick for whatever reason. Fourth round is your favorite, your favorite pick. Right, for whatever reason. Now to get the wide receiver, who granted they did try to get involved, but you have your two backups trying to get your fourth round pick involved with the team. You know what I'm saying? So of course we're not going to see really much from him. At least not right now. You know what I'm saying? We're not judging Mingo before we can see him with our starting quarterback. But it's just like, why at that moment?
It was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. And you wasted our pick. You did waste our pick. Because we didn't need Mingo now. We could have traded for Mingo in the offseason. We didn't need him.
Right. And traded for we probably could have. Carolina, the way they were going to Coker, they probably would have cut him. Sis. You feel me? So just like there was
Jerry, what are you doing? It's a joke. Anyway, shout out to Me Just Me in the chat. Appreciate you. We are glad to be back.
Is real. And
Karma is real for sure. Shout out to you guys. We are so glad to be back. Oh my God, Rico. Yeah. What's up, Rico?
Hey, what's up, Rico? Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you.
We're so glad to be back. But yeah, this is the type of stuff. Like, it's just crazy. Like,
yeah. And speaking of waste, like you were mentioning earlier, that during that. The whole, I'll say the 5 years that McCarthy was here, not giving him the control, the power to be able to run things the way he wants to, but at the same time, on the player side, and even some of the coaches' side, you're wasting the players' talents, you're wasting their time because either some players aren't getting opportunity because you're playing favorites, because you want your guys in there, you want the guys who are getting paid in there, and then and you don't get to see what everyone has, you don't get to see the potential. So we kind of had, in my opinion, just kind of this cram year almost, because you're trying to see Trey Lance in preseason, in 3 preseason games. You're trying to see.
Uh-oh. Mickey, there? I think the internet monsters might have sniped Mickey. Oh, wait. I can't hear you, sis. Maybe go out and come back in. Okay. Oh, I can hear you now.
I'm gonna try that.
No, we can hear you. I can hear you. I don't know if you can put your camera on.
For some reason.
Yeah, if it's messing up, just go out and come back in.
Yeah. Coach's time, because they're trying to elevate their own career. They're trying.
Uh-oh, I still can't. It's like you're coming in and out, and I can't see you. I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, she's gonna go out and come back in. Uh-oh, this happened again. But anyways, guys, let me see if I can scoot this over. Oh yeah, just do like this. But what's up, Andre? What's up to everybody in the chat? I'm really glad to see y'all for sure. Shout out to everybody. Really appreciate y'all. But you said Jerry got Nikki. Who's Nikki? Let me know who that is, Rico. But anyway, y'all put in the chat, who do y'all want to be? Who do y'all want the next Dallas Cowboys head coach to be? Y'all let me know. There's been names floated around. There's been Prime. I'm sure everybody heard about that. Prime time. Prime. They're interviewing Robert Saleh, I believe, as well. No set dates yet for Robert Saleh, but they said for sure they're going to interview him. And then what's her name? I think her name is Josina Anderson. She's another like NFL insider. She said that Jerry, he's ahead in the process, but he's just not sharing right now, I guess, who he's interviewing or whatever. But y'all let me know, who do y'all think would be the best candidate to come and coach the Dallas Cowboys? Oh, okay, there goes me. Okay.
I'm so sorry about that. I don't know, for whatever reason, my camera like disconnected in the middle of while I was talking. So I went with my computer camera right now. Hope you guys can still see me.
Yeah, we can see you. We can see you good. All right. I was just talking to them. I was just talking to them about basically like asking the chat. They ain't said nothing yet, but I'll ask you, sis. Like, who are your top 5 head coach candidates?
Oh, head coaches. You know what? Let me think, because I kind of got excited a little bit when they announced that they were interviewing Saleh, but I know he's more so like defensive minded, so I'm just not really sure. Like, I mean, I would be open to them bringing another OC, like, a play caller, because I love Shotty while he was here, but I'm not really sure. Like, no disrespect, but if he was calling plays, or he was just contributing to the run scheme, things like that. So I'm just not sure. I can't really, at least for myself, I can't really critique Schottenheimer because I'm not really sure what he contributed. So if we could get a play caller to kind of uplift the offense a little bit, because we definitely need some defensive pieces, but I'm just really looking for someone to kind of come in and, we can add pieces through draft or free agency for the defensive side, but I'm just really looking for, someone to kind of uplift the offense. Like we're talking about connecting with Dak, hoping to uplift him as well, kind of elevate his game as well, but really just kind of uplift the offense, kind of bring some creativity. So I am excited that they're interviewing Saleh, but not necessarily for head coach position. I would maybe lean if Zimmer. If Zimmer does decide to leave, then DC, I'm excited. Let's see. He was over there with the 49ers. I'm all for it, because when he left the Jets, I was like, man, we had just brought in Zimmer, so on and so forth. So, and another thought I had, I don't necessarily have a top 5, but another head coach I did think of, I don't know if he was let go or anything like that, but Stefanski. Like, I'm just seeing what he did with the Browns. I know they had a quarterback conundrum, going back and forth between Watson and Jameis Winston and DTR, I think. They're the rookie quarterback they had. But just what I've seen from all 3 of those, what they did with those quarterbacks, I saw they were throwing the ball. They were getting the ball downfield. Now, granted, we can move the ball, but sometimes when we go for some of those long shots, sometimes there's mismatches. Like, we see them, for whatever reason, trying to go to Turpin on the outside, even Cooks. Sometimes those things didn't really necessarily work out either, because, sometimes it's smaller size, no offense, but it's just sometimes it just doesn't work out. So maybe going with, if we do get some other, taller receivers, we got some taller guys on the practice squad. I know practice squad, but if they do decide to elevate them, so on and so forth, if we do decide to look for guys in the draft. And that's another thing for me, just kind of veering off a little bit. I want to see some taller receivers. I really I love Turpin. I want to keep Turpin too. That's one point I want to make. I want to re-sign Turpin. But I really want some taller receivers. Like, we've had taller guys, Racing McMath, Kelvin Harmon, I think his name, some of these taller receivers that we've had. But, we saw some things in preseason, but, they weren't the strongest suited guys, you know what I'm saying, for the job, right? Because they weren't catching passes from Dak. These are practice squad guys. But I just really hope, not necessarily all in 1 year, but hopefully going forward, they really start to attack, just taller stature guys as far as wide receiver, because we have CD, but he put on the weight. I think that really, although he was dealing with a bad shoulder, I think that really helped this season, because of course we know that he can get that separation, kind of get open in the field. He does this thing, but of course, as we've seen, if CD doesn't go off, who else do we really have? And I think we just really need that. As you have praised too, as you have praised as well. I'm sorry, trying to get that wide receiver too, and just really just getting some more weapons on the field. And hopefully Ferg can kind of step up too as well, as the season goes on. But I just really hope that we can bring in a play caller that can kind of elevate this offense and also bring in some pieces that can just really just bring a spark and bring continuous spark. I don't even want to see a spark. I just want to see some fire. I want to see I was listening to Girls Talk Ball earlier, and Miss Aisha Morrison, love listening to her, to her perspective on things. I literally felt what she was saying when she said, when you're watching other games and you're literally jealous of, the thing is you see that they're doing on the field, because it's just like, this season, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I got more excited to see other teams' games than our game, because I want to see our guys win, but it's just like, we always, and that's another thing, going into the season, getting new head coaching staff, potentially new players. Hopefully we can finally establish an identity for our team going forward, like period, not just for 1 year, not just for 2 years, just this, whatever a head coach will bring in, for his term only. And then after that, we'll decide. Now, hopefully we can just establish an identity, how, the 90s Cowboys, you had, the wall, the offensive line for the Cowboys. We had those things, but it's just like, I really want to establish, a strong offense, a fire offense where there's firepower, and that you can also, use the best assets from all your players, not just using CD, not just using Turpin as a, gadget guy, not just using, Cooks as a, a check down guy, or using a running back as a check down guy. I just want to get the best potential out of all our players.
Okay. Yeah. So, so right now you're not really sure about the head coaching candidate, but you are looking for someone who's going to really help uplift the offense. So you will prefer an offensive-minded coach if we were whoever we get, you prefer an offensive-minded coach. Yeah. I definitely get that, and I do lean toward an offensive-minded coach. But honestly, I think above offensive-minded is culture setters. So that's why, because that's such a huge thing, and we need a personality that can come in here, and we need somebody who, because Mike McCarthy was never a he's not a he's not a culture guy. He's more of like an X's and O's type of guy, a player's coach. He really bonds with the players. Yeah. It sounds to me like he really bonded, like listening to the players, Dak, CD, Micah, Turpin. Like he really built personal relationships with his guys, but he's not the guy on Sunday that is going to get, guys riled up. He's not the Dan Campbell. He's not going to give you a speech and that's not who he is.
Right. So he's definitely a personable guy. Like, even, let me cut you off, but even the girls on Girls Talk Ball were giving personal stories about them interacting with McCarthy around the building. So just him being that kind of that all around guy who can really connect with not just the players, coaches, but also people around the building, like you said. But it's about being that guy. Yeah, it's about being that guy on Sunday.
Exactly. Mike McCarthy is like, he's the manager, charismatic guy that really has those individual relationships. What's up, Kelvin? Right. Glad to see you. And David.
What's up, David?
But that's who he is. But we need somebody that's different than that. We need somebody who can come here and set the tone and implement their culture, which we know this is the Dallas Cowboys. So it's really hard to do that. That's why you have to be a really unique creature, LOL, in order to do it. So that's why my number one head coaching candidate, and I know he's in UNC and he's got to be bought out, but if I had my pick today, I'm bringing Bill Belichick here. And I'm bringing Bill Belichick here. I don't care, but he was nothing without I don't care about none of that stuff. I'm bringing Bill Belichick here because I know Bill Belichick has the longest track record of any head coach to get the absolute best out of his players. Yeah. The roster in New England was a mess, and I think they just stopped trying because I low-key think him and Robert Kraft's relationship fractured. So Robert was really just trying to get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm saying that because there was no effort really put into that roster. Yeah. When they had Tom, they were getting free agents. They were doing stuff, but Tom left, and it's like they just stopped trying. Yeah. Like they literally stopped trying. I expect New England, they're gonna make moves now because they got their guy Vrabel.
Yeah, right.
But clearly when
and
they
had quarterback,
and they had May, but when they had just Belichick, and then they switched over to I forgot their head coach they just fired. Mayo, Jared Mayo, they weren't trying to help those guys. You know what I'm saying? They were literally just, placeholders. Just like Belichick, he became a placeholder. But I think Belichick is the guy that comes here. One, he's the only coach that Jerry cannot son. When I say son, that means like talk down to talk at.
Right.
He can't do it to Bill Belichick. You know what I'm saying? See, when it was Jimmy, him and Jimmy were peers. Him and Jimmy got everything that they got together. But when it comes to Bill Belichick, how many Super Bowls? 6, 7 Super Bowls as head coach. I think 3 as a coordinator. Like Bill Belichick, you can't son Bill Belichick. Number 2, Bill Belichick loves this roster. He loves this roster. He loves the current players on this roster. And I think he's going to do everything that he can to win with these current players. And I'm saying that because if you watch his interviews and stuff like that, like he knows the Dallas Cowboys players like the back of his hand. He knows he knows our personnel very, very intricately.
Yeah.
And he stands on the table for Dak, stood on the table for CD this year. When Troy was saying he lazy, he don't run good routes. Bill Belichick,
he
how about that route? Troy Aikman, you know what I'm saying? So Bill Belichick is a guy that I know. He comes here.
Speaks his mind.
What'd you say?
I say he speaks his mind. Like you say, he doesn't hold back.
He speaks his mind. Mm-hmm. He's automatically, when the players see him, they're gonna be like, that's Coach Belichick. You know what I'm saying? We need somebody in here that the players is like, they have to respect him. Yeah. The respect is gonna be from day one. We have the respect for you because your accolades speak for itself. Yeah. Rico, you said how much is UNC? I'm not sure, but I do know Jerry would have to buy him out, and I think to buy him out, I think it's $8 million. No, it's $10 million.
I think it was 10. Yeah,
it's $10 million. Yeah. So Jerry would have to buy him out, but I don't. Jerry, you said if I can write a check for a Super Bowl, Jerry.
Okay, and you got that in your pocket, Jerry. That's in your pocket, Jerry.
Exactly. We're going to see how serious Jerry Jones really is by who he hires as his head coach. We're going to see. Yes. So my first candidate would be Bill Belichick. Second, prime time, of course. Like, I absolutely love Coach Prime. Yeah. I believe that he is just the epitome of excellence when it comes to a coach, a man, a black man. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I know Prime is going to come here. And now I did say, I am nervous. I'm not going to lie, because every coach that comes here, we don't get them. We get what Boss Cowboy says, a mutated version of them. People like, no, Prime. I'm like, I don't know, guys. Because every time we think, no, Jerry, no, I don't know. But if Prime could actually come here and establish his culture, the players automatically, this is one of the best players in the NFL of all time. So that's another player, another coach that comes here. All the players are automatically looking at him in reverence and respect.
Right.
Automatic.
Right. And they know him. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like, it's not like, no disrespect, but like you mentioned Belichick. It's not like, we know about Belichick's past and what he did. And they're like you said, these are young players and they
right.
His son. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So
like, he coached on every level. Right. Besides NFL, but he's coached on almost every level, and he has a real unique ability to really connect with the young people, inspire them, push them to be great. Yeah. Like Colorado, just for the first time, their team GPA is a 3.0. Like Prime has the black enrollment and stuff like that Colorado is through the roof. Just regular attendance. Like Prime is that galvanizer where if Jerry hires Prime, I mean, that would be probably one of the biggest things that he could do, because you have this personality that he's got all these NFL connections.
Right.
All these NFL connections with Hall of Famers. He can instantly, now you got players, okay, we are a little bit cheap here, but do you want to play for Prime or not? You see what I'm saying?
Right, yeah, in his first year. in his first year with the Cowboys.
Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why I would love Prime. I was a little bit worried. What's up, Dak Owens Filthy? Glad to see you. I was a little bit worried about Prime because I'm like, well, he said he wouldn't come to coach here unless he could coach his son. But you know, according to the insiders, they're like, if Jerry Jones really buys Prime out and offers him this job, he knows that if he comes here, he's not going to coach his son. You know what I'm saying? Unless Shedeur falls to 12 and Jerry pulls a wild one out of his ass, which I wouldn't be shocked that he drafts Shedeur. I would not be shocked about that. I'll be pissed about that because it's like Dak's contract is pretty much immovable without completely financially destroying the team. Right. I found out you can trade Dak, but you're still going to have the dead cap hits. Dak's dead cap hit next year is $100 million. Like the contract is immovable. The contract.
You had to suck up, Jerry. If
you right, the contract is. That's what I'm saying. If you wanted Shedeur, Jerry, you should have got rid of Dak. You should have let Dak walk.
Yeah.
And you should have. This was the perfect year to tank it out. And then you could have maybe been closer to Shedeur. But you decided you bet the house on Dak Prescott. So I really pray and hope Jerry don't do no dumb shit. Like, Jerry, don't do no dumb. You bet the house, Dak putting all his trust in you and all of this stuff. Correct. So that he's expecting you to build a team around him. Not go and get his freaking predecessor that you know you're trying to replace him with in 2 years.
Right.
It would just bring in Shedeur. I want Prime, but if that means Shedeur comes here, it just financially, culturally, I just see that blowing the whole thing up. That's just me personally, and I think a lot of people agree with me because when I was saying I think Dak may be gone before I knew all the stuff about his contract, they were like, no.
Yeah, so I said the same thing. You saw me tweeting out because, like I was saying earlier, I was wishing Mike McCarthy success. I'm like, I thought like a crazy idea. Like, what if the Saints were talking about they were interested in McCarthy. If McCarthy decides to go down there, they need a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I wish Dak and McCarthy success. So if Dak went and played out, his career in his home state, say under McCarthy, where he said he was able to grow and develop his career, that young quarterback can sit back and learn from Dak. Like it just kind of
it definitely
works.
Right. It definitely, in a scenario where we didn't say we're going to give Dak a pretty much fully guaranteed contract and 60 M's a year, it would work.
Right.
But we made the commitment to Dak. So, Jerry, that's on you because you knew Shedeur Sanders was declaring. So, if you didn't want Dak Prescott and you knew you wanted to go after Prime, then you should have said, Dak, love you, see ya. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm a Dak stan supporter, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But I would, if Dak was movable, and it really was, Prime comes here, but he has to have Shedeur, I would be okay with us finding a home for Dak, taking on Shedeur and stuff like that. I would be okay with it because I do believe Prime is that special. And I believe that he is a guy that could flip the culture and the tone of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I agree. So, and to add to your point on that right there, like with really literally, well, I'm gonna say literally, but we're pretty much with the coaching staff being kind of blown up. You have a lot of players leaving in free agency. It's kind of, I don't want to say the right time because you never know how it's going to fit with the scheme and everything and the newer head coach and things like that. But you have a lot of people leaving. Why not? That's when you really do usher in a new regime. That's when you do hire a new head coach. Right,
exactly. You hire.
So it would be the right time.
But you said, Jerry, you said CD and Dak are pivotal to our success. You said CD, Dak, and Micah are pivotal to our success. So you signed him.
Right.
So I don't want to really hear no excuses. And it's like, Jerry, don't F it up. This is a draft. We're close enough. We can go and get a premium weapon. And that's what we need. I'm with you, sis. I still want this, regardless of the head coach that we get, I still want our first round pick to either be Genty or an elite wide receiver.
Yes.
I still want those two things, but let me finish my coach. I'm going to go through fast because I talked so much about Prime. But my second candidate is Aaron Glenn. My third candidate is Aaron Glenn. First, he was like at the bottom. He was at 5, but I moved him up to 3 because he came out and said today, if you hire me, you're getting a coach. He said, you're not getting a defensive coach. You're getting a coach. He said, I know the offense just like I know the defense, and I will be coaching the offense as well as the defense. So I said, with that bumped him up because I'm like, okay,
people. What was Jesus like? He was like,
yeah, like so when I heard that, I said, bump him up because and he got voted by, I think, the NFL Player Association as the #1 coach, defensive coordinator. Like, he's clearly a leader of men. He's clearly a culture setter. He's a former player. I think they say he's a Bill Parcells guy. And he knows how to coach both sides of the ball.
Right, and has been here before. I mean, I was talking to my dad, and I'm sure people knew it, but I didn't know that he played for the Cowboys. He said my dad said he was a corner for the Cowboys, so I'm like, hey, our corner room is kind of a little knocked right now. Like, we can, like you said, I'm glad that he said that he's bringing the coach aspect, but we saw, we talked about the Cowboys and injuries they dealt with, but we saw what the Lions dealt with, losing their top player, Hutchinson. I think, I forget the golden hair guy. They lost him for a few weeks before he came back. Yeah, with a broken arm. You know what I'm saying?
Aaron Glenn. Sorry to cut you off, sis, but Aaron Glenn has turned water into wine with that defense, because I was like, when in the offseason, I said that defense is ass. So I was like, that defense ain't doing nothing. As good as the offense is in Detroit, I'm like, that defense is terrible. Yet he's made that defense one of the top defenses in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely in on Aaron Glenn. And then my if they really seriously give him a chance, I really think that he could come here and really do some things here in Dallas. And then the last two are Joe Brady, which is Joe Brady
with Allen. He's coaching Allen.
I'm Joe Brady has him. People talking about Ben Johnson. I'm talking about Joe Brady, because I was like, what Joe Brady has done to the Bills, he has made them a serious threat, because he has made, if you look at their offense, they are not only disciplined, but he's made them physical. He completely flipped that offense. You had an offense that was completely finesse, that had, I forgot what that guy, but he was awful. I mean, Josh Allen throwing 100 picks, terrible. And then he gets Joe Brady. All of a sudden, Josh Allen has an MVP season. So I think when you talk about that creative mind, that I know he can come here and establish his coach, and he has his swagger to him. You can tell all the players are like fully bought into him and stuff. I'm like, that's a player I know, a coach I know. He come here and build what he needs to do with Dak and make this offense better, and he believes in the run game. So
that was in the back of my mind. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We saw how Cook ran, this weekend.
Touchdowns, leading the NFL. He believes in the run game. So I'm like, absolutely. Yep. And then my fourth coach was
that was your number 4. Yeah.
My fifth coach. Who did I put? I forgot who else is on my list. At least my brain. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up on my profile.
No, you good.
My fifth coach was. Let's see, I put it out here. Oh, John Gruden. Then I said,
really, Gruden?
Right. Then I said John Gruden. At first, I was off on John, because I was like, I don't know. And then there was like some racist controversy stuff. But digging more into it, it's like, no, I don't really think that what they were trying to get him on was racist or anything like that. So with him, because I know he's another offensive mind, right? He's got the quarterback school and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
He really has favored. He's another coach like Bill Belichick. They really favored Dak and have a real high respect and mind for him. And so I really will prefer coaches that are coming here that say, I want to win a Super Bowl with Dak. That's my first preference, right? Of course, Prime is my second candidate, but I do want a coach here that says, I want to win and invest in Dak. Not someone who's like, Dak's not my guy. I want to hire this guy. Let's get Dak.
Right.
Someone who's going to mess it up, because we just committed. We just committed to Dak. We just committed to CD.
Yeah.
And so I do want a coach here that actually wants to coach these guys and win with these guys. So those are my top 5 candidates for now. What's up, Steve? Stephen White, glad to see you.
Oh, yes, it's been a grip since we've seen you, Stephen White. And shout out to Swain earlier, too. I'm really sorry, Faye.
Yeah. Swain?
No, I happened to see him earlier, and the chat was gone, and I kept meaning to shout him out. I really appreciate you being in the building, fam. Always appreciate you seeing. And Andre Mosley, too. I don't know if we've seen, I don't know if I shouted you out, but I don't know if we've seen you here before, but appreciate you joining us too. We always love new faces in the building. So really appreciate you. So appreciate you being active in the chat as well. We do see your comments. So don't think we're ignoring everybody.
Right, we're ignoring exactly.
Yeah, we definitely see your comments in here.
And Dak owns 50. This is a Washington D.C. shirt. This is not a Commander shirt.
I thought you went in for a bet or something like that.
No. I will not. This is not a Commander shirt. It's just a normal old Washington D.C. shirt that I got from Washington. It's not no Commander. Y'all know I never been caught dead in no other team clothes.
It is crazy though. Like me, just me personally, kind of being in the DMV area. I'm not gonna be mad, And I actually want to talk about that. Since we just briefly because we did bring up Washington. But I think I'm really hoping, I kind of had like this kind of section in my head, less lessons learned, from this season. And I just really hope that, we kind of mentioned it earlier with Jerry, right? Hopefully taking more action in the off season, I think he received, Cowboys always get like the acclaim, the clicks, people use Cowboys name when they, in free agency, when they try to, hook up to a team or whatever. But for me, that's kind of more so, just trying to get views. But I think more recently I'll say this past season, Jerry has been getting more views, but I'll say he was getting more criticism. So I think people are keeping a little bit more Jerry up. People are keeping more of an eye on Jerry and maybe what he's doing. They're starting to call him out a little bit, right? So I just think hopefully this going out the past off season, hopefully he'll take that into account. And Steven too, because I know it's not just Jerry making moves. Steven, Will McClay, the guys that they do involved in that process. I just hope that they take that kind of into account. I'm not saying they have to, go out the pressure because they don't have to do anything. We saw that last year. They ain't got to do a damn thing in free agency, but hopefully they take that into consideration and then say, okay, instead of not going on clickbait, not just going up, not just trying to fill seats, but how can we really get the fans back engaged? How can we get the players back engaged? I saw your tweet early this week, sis. Like, I think you hit the nail on the head saying that. I hope it kind of, like you said, forces Jerry's hand because not just the fans, but Dak, Micah is saying, listening to Micah's podcast earlier, he was saying that I hope they involve me in the process. I hope to be involved in those conversations, saying, we heard Micah say it last year, me and Jerry talked in the Super Bowl and but we saw nothing really. They did bring Zimmer and we did see, someone on the defensive side, they did get Mozzie when Quinn was here. So maybe he was a little bit more involved in maybe some other players, but I really hope that this season they do take, Dak's word into account. Like you said, since we committed to him, they do take Micah's word into account. If they do, if and when they do decide to sign him, like you said, hopefully it gets done quick and we just go ahead and jump right in. Like that's what we want, right? We, no offense, wanted the season to end so quick so we could look forward, so we can get to the next season, so we can look to build. I'm saying? I'm sure that's what the players want to do, the coaches as well. So hopefully that'll be kind of the battery in Jerry's back. Steven Jones, we're looking at you too. Will McClay, I heard, shout out to Patrick O.C. Walker. Heard him mention this early on the podcast, the emergency podcast they had, I think yesterday when Mike McCarthy was let go, saying that, hey, a way that you could possibly keep Will McClay around is by involving him, in the process of hiring the head coach or, DC or,
and they talking about Jerry on players. A solo mission. I'm like, Jerry, you shouldn't be on a solo mission, buddy.
Right. Like, why aren't you, saying, like you say, we don't see owners on the TV every day. We don't see owners having their own radio station. Why do you have an owner, like you said, operating on his own up in your office, just making phone calls, giving away 4th round picks 2 years in a row? Like, where's the staff around Jerry that's like, okay, we're not giving them no more picks, dog. Like,
because Jerry continues to do this stuff on his own. That's why he should not be the GM. That's why Jerry. That's the exact reason why he should not be the GM. Because as long as he has that power, he can do whatever he wants when he wants, with no control. Y'all remember it? Reason why Bill Parcells left? Bill Parcells said, Jerry, don't bring Terrell Owens to my team. Jerry said, I'm gonna do what I want. Bill Parcells said, I'm out. You see what I'm saying? This is what Jerry does. Jerry does take into account his coaches and players, right? He listens to them. But at the end of the day, there are certain things when Jerry says, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. And I realized that about Jerry. I'm like, at the end of the day, Jerry, he listens and blah, 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 and he'll talk to you for hours. But at the end of the day, He gonna consider it. He's going to consider. He's gonna listen. At the end of the day, he's going to do what he wants. And that's why I'm like, that's why your old ass should not have the full power. But he does. And he's tripled down this year. As long as he's alive, he is not giving up GM. No one can do it better than him. He ain't giving it to Steven. He ain't giving it to Charlotte. He ain't giving it to Jerry Jr. He said he is the Dallas Cowboys and he will be the Dallas Cowboys until the day that he goes in the grave.
Right, exactly. I like you said, like it's one we can always talk about it. Like you said, when you have someone with an ego like that who comes out and says, "Yeah, I bought this job. It's my job for life." It's like, maybe like you said, he listens all right because he heard everyone saying we need to fire GM, fire the GM, Jerry. Like it's not a coincidence he came out and said, "Oh yeah, this is my job for life." What y'all thought? You know what I'm saying? So he pretty much answered. He
pretty much tell people, y'all can stop with that because I'm gonna be the
right. Like Cowboys Nation, when you think that they don't listen, they don't watch, like they may not answer directly, or they may not come out and say, "Hey fans, I'm staying here for life." No, he just gonna say like, "Look, what y'all thought?" Like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be a GM for life." That's it. That's period. You know what I'm saying?
Period. That's on period proof. That's what he said. So he's like, it ain't never changing. Rico, yes, Joe Brady is on my list for a head coach for sure. Micah said, exactly, Dak owns filthy. I'm glad Micah came out.
I like that he said that.
These players are always, I mean, you know how Steven Jerry, when we have enough money and when this guy wants to be. Micah said, I don't need to be the highest paid. Who we going to bring in here?
Right.
And that's what
even Dak said that. But even Dak said that.
Yes. Dak, Micah, CD, I really need them speaking up this offseason. Yeah. This is not the time to get quiet. I know y'all are sad that Mike left. Dak is sad. Micah is sad. They're concerned. Of course, they're men. They're leaders of men, so they're not about to sit here and whine and but they are concerned because this is another change. It's just these constant changes. And with these changes, it's like Dak pretty much Dak, Micah, CD. Well, Micah, I think Micah is immovable, right? I think we're gonna pay Micah, but
me too.
The rest of the players, who's to say that these coaches want them, know how to use them? Because you see a player like Neville Gallimore, terrible with us. He just plays for the Rams, and all of a sudden he's getting 2 sacks and I was like, what?
Right, and he was on Miami first, y'all. He didn't just go right to the Rams and
got cut. He got released from Miami. All of a sudden, gets picked up by the Rams, and now 2 sacks in a playoff game, could possibly be playing in an NFC championship. You see what I'm saying? Like, we've got to get the right coaches in here. We've got to get the right staff.
Right.
The head coach is important, but the staff is even more important because somebody said, I think that was Rico saying, I hope we can keep Al Harris. We're not going to keep him, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
I expect all of Mike McCarthy's staff to be gone. I think if Mike gets a head coaching job, he's probably going to take Al Harris, and Al Harris will be his DC or something like that.
Yeah, or his assistant again. I said the same thing because that's kind of what I was throwing out there when if Dak possibly followed Mike, and that's been mentioned too on podcasts as well. Other content creators have said that if he has a following like this, I mean, it's a good
follow him. Just like players and coaches left and followed Dan Quinn.
Right.
Players and coaches are going to leave and follow Mike.
Right.
They are.
Yeah. It's a good and bad because coaches, if a coach does come in, he can bring his guys in as well. So that's good on that coach that be able to bring in more of his coaching staff. But at the same time, we might lose some of our favorites. I don't know if we're going to lose, Lunda Wells. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Lunda. I mean, Lunda gone. I don't expect the new coach to come here and keep none of these guys. So that's why it's so important. Because that's why Mike said this is a full reset. This is a full change. So whoever comes, it's like, that's why you get weary about, people like Jason Witten, who allegedly Jerry just basically, or Jane Slater just confirmed this week that Jason Witten is going to be our head coach at some point in time. Maybe not right now, but at some point in time, Jerry wants him to be the head coach. And so I'm like, when you have these young coaches and stuff like that, it's like, okay, who y'all bringing in on staff?
Right.
Because that's a big deal. Like, okay, we got you, but who are you going to bring in coordinators, assistant coaches to help coach these guys up? Because the assistant coaches, one reason that Mike McCarthy's tenure did not work out very well here is because his assistant coach, he deferred too much to his assistant coaches who were not very strong.
Absolutely.
That's Mike McCarthy's downfall. Like Green Bay, everybody says, well, that was the defense. And I said it too. But at the same time, Mike, you the head coach. You're the head coach. So it's your job to make sure that all of your players are on one accord. And you were just leaving the defense to Dan. I'm not saying Dan was bad, but Dan is like uncle, a big brother, a player's coach. He was not stern and tough on them, which was what was required.
Yeah.
Which was what was required in order for us to really succeed and win in the postseason. So
I agree with you on that point, because like you said, we looking at Jason Witten with, not having really that much experience.
Right. None at all. No college, nothing. Like just high school.
Right. So like you said, if you don't have experience, who are you bringing in here that does have experience? I'm saying you may know this guy, but it's one thing to know what a guy has done in the league, but have you put in that groundwork with him? Have you spent those long nights, in the same room with those guys, spending 3-4 hours trying to put together a game plan? Like, you got to be able to build chemistry, not just with the players, but with your staff as well. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get to know who you can defer to and who you can't defer to, because you can't.
Exactly. This guy has some weaklings.
Right.
He has some weaklings because he's always trying to do the old buddy system. And sorry, Mike, sometimes the buddy system don't work out. Big dog, like you gotta put people in a position that can actually lead your men and to get them where they need to go. So it's 100% important that these assistant coaches and stuff like that is so important, because you look at it, all of these head coaches now, they were once assistants, right? They were assistants of great head coaches, and then they branched off and they became head coaches. So we really need a strong coach that we know can for sure build a staff. He said Al Harris might escape to Washington. Yeah, he could. I just don't know what he's going to do there, because Dan Quinn is not firing Joe Witt. He's not firing Joe Witt. So he's just going to go there and be a DB coach? Okay. Like, I don't know. If Mike is offering you defensive coordinator, assistant head coach, and Dan Quinn's offering you DB coach, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, which one are you taking? You know what I'm saying? But he could, because he does. That is true. He does have a good relationship with Dan Quinn. And I guess just to end the show, we can kind of like, who do you think? Let's go over like our most improved players, and like who do we think should be brought back? Yeah, who do we think should be brought back?
Let me bring up this free agency list, because I love that, like we were talking about earlier. I love that something, and I'll just speak for me personally. Like me and Star were talking earlier in the season about how some of these young players can kind of take, some of these last few games of the season, albeit, good, bad, win, loss, what they can actually take, from the, getting these game snaps. And we saw, younger guys come in. We saw Leofow, take over when Kendrick, went down, overshown, praise to him through his, hopefully not too long rehab, but hopefully praise to him. He can come back sometime next year, or, just take the time and really come back and take the time, to heal up. But so we saw Leofow step up and make plays too, not just, come in and sub in and make sparks here and there, but he was getting to the pocket. He was getting to the backfield. I love seeing that. These other guys step up too. We didn't see a lot of, and that's one thing I was kind of irritated in the last game of the season, seeing Deuce, T. Hunter Lipke, because we talked all year about trying to get these running backs going, because we were committee, right? Somehow we went from committee to, Zeke and Rico to just Rico throughout the rest of the season. And just like, I understand trying to make Rico the number one guy, and I wanted that. I was a huge Rico stan throughout the year, but at the same time, I wanted to see Deuce. I wanted to see Hunter. You know what I'm saying? Because we need to see some of these guys, because a lot of these guys are on the roster, and it's not, I hate to say taking up space, but if you have these guys on the roster, why aren't we using them? And that went for a lot of players that we have, but specifically for the running back, because looking towards next season. are we going to, draft a running back, or what kind of moves are we going to make in the offseason? So we need, like you said, we need strong pivotal pieces at running back, at wide receiver, at
we need a strong roster.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe even linebacker, just because some of the hits we took this past season, with injuries and things like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Just I think like I mentioned, some of these young players stepping up. Like I mentioned, Leah Fowl. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I know Troy Pride. I know just one game after season.
Pride, that was a good one.
He surprised me.
Troy Pride, I think, even though he got to only play like one game, I feel like there was something in him to where you for sure could, bring him back, let him play, go through camp and training camp. Camp and preseason and see what you got.
I think he signed the futures. Actually, I think he signed the future before the season or right when the season.
Okay, so he will definitely at least be in training camp.
Yeah,
and I think if I were to go with like my most improved players or players that I'm really excited, young players, I'll say first. Young players that I'm excited to see next year. Number one will be my guy, y'all know, Mozzie. I think Mozzie really, really started to put it together, right? And I think that just came with the consistency of reps. Because last year he hardly got any reps, and then we know with the weight loss, it was just a disaster. So I'm really excited to see what year 3 Mozzie is going to look like. I'm also still on that 2023 class, Luke Schoonmaker.
Yes,
now, I know everybody loves Ferg, right? And granted, Ferg had a phenomenal 2023 year. We cannot take that away from Ferg. But we also cannot lie and say that Ferg had a good year this year. He had 0 touchdowns and like 400 yards or something. It was about as bad as you could get, especially because he didn't miss that many. He missed probably like 4 games. So 0 touchdowns, 400 yards, like that's pretty bad. And so I started to see a confidence. That's why, I get scared with people leaving like, Lunda Wells, because you saw a confidence rising in Schoon. Finally, you saw confidence kind of rising in Brevin Spanford. Now these new coaches, they might be like, to hell with Schoon, to hell with Ferg, to hell with Brevin. I don't want none of them. You know what I'm saying? So that was
crazy. We could literally go from thinking we have one of the best tight end rooms in the league.
Right. Sus, I said that, and then it's like, like I said, we had one of the best, and then now just I really don't know. It's just a big question mark. But I would say Schoon. I would say Chauncey. I really hope we bring Chauncey back. I'm like, we should bring him back.
He definitely played in his contract.
Chauncey is like a pivotal role piece player that you want to have on your team. He's very versatile, can play all across the line. Like, I think he proved that he should be brought back, and he should not cost that much money at all. So those are, I would say, Schoon, Mozzie, Chauncey. I'm trying to see anybody else in the, obviously my main man. Maris. Maris for sure, clearly Overshown, but we know Overshown, he's going to be kind of slow cooked next year. But Maris, I think, was really able to take a step up, and he was able to slide right on in when Overshown went out.
I don't even say Guyton. I like
Guyton too. I think Guyton, BB. I think both of those guys. Yeah, go ahead.
I like how there were times where Guyton would step in, and I feel like he played better when he kind of didn't start. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. I agree with that. I think Guyton's gonna be good for us next year. This year was just a little bit hard.
Yeah.
He was, it was just difficult. There was something in his technique where it was like, you're gonna have to spend another offseason getting that under control.
Exactly.
Because, he would occasionally get beat inside. And also, shout out to my guy OC. He said with Guyton, he just got to build up his lower body strength. And y'all remember how Terrence Steele, how he made that huge jump from year 1 to year 2. So I expect that out of Guyton, because we know Guyton is a very, very hard worker. So Guyton can get down.
The injuries, he had the illness.
Then we forget he had multiple injuries where he had to be out a couple of games and stuff like that. So But I think Guyton will be really good for us next year, as long as he can stay healthy. Because really, Guyton, Guyton started to improve throughout this toward the end of the season. You wasn't really hearing his name much until the damn penalties.
Exactly.
We gotta get the penalties down with Guyton, because that I cannot, like, the penalties was killing us. It was killing us. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm like, if Guyton can get that discipline down, then I think we'll be fine. Of course, Cooper Beebe.
I mean, to piggyback off that, hopefully with the new coach coming in too, because we saw that a lot in the McCarthy. Just in general.
Right, exactly. The penalties were out of control. That's what I'm saying. You get a culture setter like a Bill Belichick or a Prime, somebody who can come here and instill discipline into these guys to where we're not getting those stupid penalties. Because if we can do that, we're going to see our team take another level. So just like, offensive line coach is going to be very important. I think Cooper Beebe obviously had a great season. I think next season he should be Pro Bowl. What's up, my guy Chris?
Hey Chris, how you doing?
He should be Pro Bowl, All Pro next year. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to continue to have these guys develop. But I really think the young guys, I think, this was a hard year. Yeah. But I think in this hard year, they were really able, and all those injuries, they was able to get a lot of meaningful reps.
Yeah, and to Stephen White's point in the chat, I think that's a huge point, because not saying Guyton I wouldn't say that he wasn't taking it serious. I think he, felt that I'm not gonna say he felt he had the job and he got comfortable, but they told him he would have the job. He was trying to get in the group, like you say, he had to deal with a lot of injuries, but you kind of saw halfway through the season when they got Chuma in there, when they brought in Awesome Richards, they were doing well. Then all of a sudden you seeing Guyton talk about something. Oh no, I'm good. Oh, I'm not hurt, or that was just a few mistakes. I'm good now, and like you said, we started to see him kind of improve. Granted, the penalties were still a problem, but I think he just kind of needed that heat on the back of his neck. Like, hey, we know you're number one. First.
I agree with that, and I do think that if Chuma never got hurt, I think they probably would have had Guyton be the backup. I will concede, and I say I do think that, because Chuma was playing well, so was Awesome Richards. Yeah, I think, to be honest,
we talked about that star where Awesome was like.
Every time Awesome played, he played very, very well. Chuma was playing well when he was healthy. Mm-hmm. Guyton is just a physical specimen that you're like, this guy's ceiling is through the roof. But I do think this year it probably would have been better to slow cook him. I don't like how they were, once the season was over, how they kept putting them in and out. I think that was dumb. It's like, just let him get the reps. He already missed games because of injury. Yeah. I think that was more so the coaching staff, Mike McCarthy. It's like, Mike, we're not going to the postseason. Like, I really hated that they did that. So that's the type of shit I hate. It's like, when the season mattered, I get it. But when the season is over, you're still subbing him out. Like, I think that was kind of dumb, because he is our future. Whether it's left tackle, right tackle, he is our future, and he will be good. I just think that he just needed that development. But as we look at this list, I guess we can kind of like go through who we think should go and stay, and then we can close out.
Yeah, that really sounds good. I think just taking a look at this list, like you mentioned earlier with the Golston, guys who stepped up. We were talking about corners earlier. I did forget about Izzy kind of coming in and stepping in that role.
My guy Izzy. Oh, what's up, Izzy? Glad to see you. I think Izzy out of here though. He out of here because unless the new coach DC comes and is like, I need to keep this kid on my team. But other than that. Yeah. They just didn't allow him to play enough. They kept playing practice squad players over Izzy. So I just don't think that the coaching staff valued him. And I think because of that, the front office is going to be like, see ya. Unless he comes back for like dirt cheap, which he could, because he ain't got no stats. So he should be cheap. He should be cheap, but I just don't know. I don't know.
Maybe like a camp body, or because he has that tall length. I mean, if we we do have these taller receivers.
Izzy is a dog, bro. I just think that he just does not had the opportunity. He has not had a coordinator that says, "I'm going to allow you to start for me." Yeah, he didn't get it in Dan Quinn. He didn't get it in Zimmer. So I just don't. I don't know. Like I said, and because it's all going to depend on the new coach. the new DC and see if they find value in him.
Right, and also needing the depth. I mean, the quarterback room took a huge hit.
A huge hit. It kept surprising. Like, why are we playing Amani Rourier and this guy and that, and Booth and stuff over Izzy? I never got it, but for some reason, these two coaching staffs do not value on him. I don't know if it was a behavioral issue with Izzy. I don't know, but. I would want him to be brought back for sure, but I just don't know if they're going to do that. But I guess we can start at the top. Zach Martin.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
I think he's up out of here. I mean, we could bring Zach back, but I just feel like why? I just feel like at this point,
right. Go ahead and get TJ Bass going.
He's been regressing for 3 years now.
Yes.
Now he's at the point, if he gets injured, he's cooked. Right. I mean, what we saw with Zach Martin this year, I mean, injured or not, I'm like, God damn. Like,
for real. You need to stop.
No, I'm serious. Everybody knows it. Like, so now I'm like, now you're at the point where you're injured, you're cooked.
Right.
So I'm like, at this point,
just let him get the Walter Payton Award, man, and just
right off into the sunset. I hope he retires, but if he wants to play, let him play. But I really hope they just let him go like they did Tyron, unfortunately. But go ahead and let him go.
You feel the same way about D-Law? I'm kind of on the fence about D-Law because I'm surprised we haven't really seen a lot of him.
I'm on the fence of D-Law. I really love D-Law and I value D-Law, but at the same time, D-Law. Your foot is dog, like your foot is. I hate to cuss, but I'm gonna say your foot is fucked.
Yeah,
it's fucked, bro. Like it's.
Yeah.
You can.
And we're already gonna have.
It's gonna shatter. It's gonna keep shattering. And I'm like, do we keep him, and then deny someone like who we got to replace him in Marshawn Nealon, deny him snaps? I just don't. I don't know.
We'll say, and we already got Sam Williams coming back from his injury, so.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like we got Sam Williams and Marshawn Nealon, and we're gonna bring D-Law back at 31.
Right.
Foot is pretty much cooked. I know he wants to still play, but it's like, dude, your foot is cooked. So unless you're gonna get you're gonna get a whole new foot.
Yeah,
I just don't see. I don't see how you're gonna.
He would definitely
stay on the field
or something, even if not for us, maybe another team or a training camp or maybe week 8. Trade deadline next season, but
possibly. But
that's close. I don't know.
It's close. Then you got Brandon Cooks out of here.
Yeah, the same. Trey Lance. I know. I tweeted out during our last game since I think me personally, I think Cooper Rush is out of here, and I think they bring back Trey Lance as the backup, just because of, in my opinion, it's not a huge progression, but we did see some progress from the preseason. We did see some control. We did see still some of his cannon arm out there in the game. He has to take off just some heat off some of the balls, but that was under McCarthy. And that's like you said, the head coach really just points to everything because is a coach going to come in and try to have to coach up Dak and Trey? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like
right. The issue with Trey Lance is. I like Trey Lance. I think he's got great athletic ability. I really see in Trey Lance long term. I don't know if I ever see him ever be the guy for a team, but I can see him being, I've said it, the Taysom Hill role. He's obviously a great athlete.
Yeah.
I wish
we did that, sis. I wish we did that. Like how the Steelers, and I'm not saying the Steelers were, great using Justin Fields, but even just by example, we just could have got Trey Lance involved just a little bit more, just seeing.
Yeah, especially when Dak went down, I do think like they could have done better to get him involved, but he just wasn't Mike McCarthy's guy. Mike McCarthy never wanted him, and Jerry basically threw Trey on him and said, hey, fix this guy. And it just wasn't working out. I could see them bringing back, but I also see Trey Lance as a guy who probably wants to bet on himself and probably wants to go somewhere where he can compete. I think Trey Lance, if you're watching this, you should be done just saying, I'm going to just be a backup. You're too young.
Yeah.
You need to go to a place where you can honestly compete and see if you can get you a starting job or something. Because I just feel like you sitting behind Dak is not going to do nothing for you.
Right.
It's not going to do anything for you.
I definitely agree with you. And we're seeing a lot of resurgences, you know what I'm saying, with QBs.
Right. Like he needs a chance. But to me, if Trey Lance has a good agent, There's no way you should be telling him, just go there and just solidify your career as a backup. Like, no, you should be trying to go to a team that's QB needy and see if you can go and push them in training camp and see if they can give you a chance. That's what I think personally. Brian Anger.
He gotta have a down year to me.
Yeah, I like Brian Anger, but I feel like replaceable.
Because
I feel replaceable. That's what I feel like with him. I think he's good, but I'm like, you're old.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, he had a great, before this season, he had some good years, but on this past season, a lot of his punts, a
lot of his punts was pretty bad. Yeah, it wasn't good. Yeah, he wasn't really helping us with the field position. What's up, David? That's my guy, David. Good to see you.
How you doing?
Eric Kendricks.
Go ahead.
I feel like Eric Kendricks could be a progress stopper, but because of the injury of Overshown, it's like I wouldn't mind you bringing him back just to have like a veteran presence.
Yeah.
I feel like he was good for us. He helped us out a lot. Now, is he regressing? Yes, because he's old. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't hate it if they brought him back on a cheap deal, just because you're missing Overshown. And I do believe Damone Clark is up out of here.
Yeah, I think
so it's like your linebacker room is not really deep.
It's thin again. Right. And most of the linebackers we had were like 1 year free agencies that we
Right. They were all 1 year free agencies. So it's like it's definitely not so I would not mind bringing Eric Kendricks back. Because we're gonna have to bring we're gonna have to put some veterans in that room regardless if we bring him back or not.
Yeah.
Because again, like I said, we down to really 2 starting linebackers and one's hurt.
Right. And not to skip ahead, but
draft their linebacker too. What'd you say?
I'm kind of on the same page with that with Carl Lawson and Carlos Watkins or Linval Joseph. Like, as far as just having depth in the room and, like you said, either cheap.
Right. Right. They cheap and they add good depth. I'm for bringing Carlos Watkins back.
Yeah.
I think every time he plays for us, he's good for us. I'm also for Linval is so freaking old.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try to get somebody a little bit younger, still in the 30s. But Linval, you're gonna be almost 40, and now he's gonna be 36 next year. But still, like,
no, I feel you.
I liked Linval a lot, but it's like, I don't know if he wants to come back. I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah.
Obviously, he gets up out of here. He never comes back.
But Stephen White talking about some Myles Garrett. Did you see that? About Myles Garrett?
He's on trade block.
Yeah. Do you think that's true? Because I'm not talking about Cleveland, but
I could see it because Cleveland kind of needs to reset.
Yeah.
They got to reset. They're financially strapped because of that Deshaun Watson contract, so they're gonna have to draft a quarterback, and they need. Well, does Cleveland need to reset? I think
because they said that they would they would keep Myles Garrett in the loop with what they were doing. So if he's talking about, other places,
I mean, honestly, I feel like we need to, I mean, if he on the block, I mean, that's what you call an all-in move.
Yeah.
I doubt Jerry and them. They're not about to pay Myles Garrett and pay Micah. Is Myles Garrett up for? I gotta look at his contract before I make a comment on that. But that's a good comment, Steven. I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah.
I think when it comes
Rico, I think we already got rid of Ball. I think the Saints picked
up.
Yeah,
Ball is gone. Yeah, Ball's been gone. Well, let's go. Definitely is gonna be gone. I don't see the coaching staff teaching him.
Right.
CJ Goodwin's always been a great special teams ace, but I just feel like, can somebody else younger fill that role? Like, why do we have to keep bringing him back? Like, I feel like put Izzy in that role or somebody. Like, why can't we have young, fast guys who just like, we can't find a starting position, but we think you could just be a special teams demon? Like, I feel like that would be better than just keep bringing CJ Goodwin back, because I just feel like,
or even, I mean, and I really want Wanya to get more snaps on defense, but even
Wanya
took that spot.
Wanya,
exactly. Worked in, you know what I mean? If you were worked in as a safety or on defense, hey man, come in. That's what I thought they were trying to do. We saw him a lot on special teams, but not really much on defense. So, if you're gonna, like you said, if you're gonna have somebody be that ace, take that spot, because he has the speed, he loves hitting guys coming down on the field. So
I'm like, let somebody else younger, exactly, that could actually play defense, because he can't play cornerback in the NFL. Trent C.
Right.
A long snapper, who cares? Like, he come out. I mean, he's getting paid $2. Who cares? Osa, right. I do think we should bring Osa back.
Yeah.
At first, at the beginning of the season, I was like, nah, Osa, he is what he is. But then I started seeing him trend up, and then I realized, bruh, Osa was not really playing under Dan Quinn. He was only getting like 20% of the snaps. Right. All of a sudden, he actually gets real snaps, and then you saw what he was doing at the end of the season. He was like top 5 in defensive tackle pressures and all this stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I think it just took a while for Osa to get there, but I am for giving him a deal.
Right. And the other guys. And the other guys were effective around Osa. It wasn't just Osa trying to
right. The other guys were effective, and it's like, bro, if you get rid of Osa, like, who you gonna have in your DT room, Mozzie, and that's it.
Right.
Like, no, you gotta bring back Osa. I think that should be the. I think that should be their. Oh, I forgot we got Justin Rogers, who's really good. I forgot Rogers. Yeah. So Rogers is good. I'm excited. Yeah, we re-signed him. I am excited for him. Yeah, but those are no.
And Daxon. I'm glad that he was able to keep the extra spot. And I think hopefully with the development, like we're talking about Awesome Richards, if Daxon
guys can develop, right? These guys can develop
like Awesome Richards. Look, man, I'm very happy for that DT room because those two plus Mozzie. Yeah, they continue to develop. I'm saying
we can see the future with these guys. I definitely bring Osa back. That should be the Dallas Cowboys' #1 free agent in house. They're trying to bring back. You need to give Osa Odigizua, give him a good little bag, and bring him back because we need him. And it takes so long for DTs to cook. Like, bro, why don't let him? And people are like, he played himself out of Dallas. I'm like, nah, bro, give him a contract. What is he? Give him a good little contract. I'm sure he wants to stay here, so give him a good contract so that he can stay here. Rico, sure, bring Rico back. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'm not for him being RB1. You know, I'm ready for. I want something better than Rico, but. Yeah. I'm okay with Rico being like a little tandem or something like that. But RB1, no thanks. Appreciate everything Rico did. The 1,000 yard, all that was great. Yeah. But I'm not. He will not be my running back one for 2025 under any circumstances. We need somebody better, more dynamic, faster. Like we just need somebody better. We need somebody better than that to actually take the pressure off of Dak. Because I just feel like with Rico, were you taking pressure off of Dak? No.
I think we should draft, and if we do keep Rico, like you say, he'll be #2, and then maybe keep Hunter and Deuce for practice squad. Elevate one when you need the other.
Right? Yeah, maybe one of those guys. I don't know, but Rico cannot be RB1 for sure. Chauncey Golston, I already said 100% bring him back.
Right.
Nick Vigil, no, I'm not bringing him back. You were only here
because of injuries too, bro.
I'm like, you were only here because of Zimmer. If Zimmer's out, you should be going to Amani Warrior. I kind of liked Amani. I mean, if you want to bring him back on cheap, like practice squad, I think he could be like a practice squad guy. That's what I would say.
I think he earned that because he did make some.
I think he earned that.
Short tackler. I think I love that he's a short tackler. He
is a short tackler.
A little bit more awareness, maybe a little bit more time in the system. Whoever does come in, maybe he could just have a better camp. Come in, because he did miss camp with us. You know what I'm saying? I think he came in kind of late.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So maybe we get him in a full camp. He'll be better. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing him back.
Yeah.
I would not be opposed to bringing Carl Lawson back.
Right.
I would be opposed to bringing Carl Lawson back. I think this is a guy, he's just a rotational piece that just can give you a little bit of, something, a little bit of firepower. It'll be good to have a depth there because we are going to have Sam coming back off of injury.
Mm-hmm. And get him in camp as well because he came in like the last week or something.
Right,
like that.
Get him in camp and see,
I
think he can help us. I would bring Carl Lawson back. I don't know how much he wants to come back for, but I would definitely bring him back because I feel like you just help your edge depth. You need depth. If we learn anything this year, we know you need depth.
Facts.
Brock Hoffman.
I'm with it.
I'm fine to bring Brock Hoffman back as well.
Right.
He was beat down on the outside. He's probably more of a slot guy, Willie T. Yeah, he wasn't great on the outside, but that's what Mickey was saying. Like, he can tackle and stuff, so he probably need to be in the
slot. Like, he just not saying he's like
an island by himself. But
he reminds me in that kind of at least in my mind, he, like, J. Lou's a short tackler. He's right there at the line. Even Izzy, like, I prefer kind of line. You know what I mean? Just because he can make the tackle, he can kind of keep track of the running back coming out the backfield, things like that. But definitely in coverage. Yeah, we definitely didn't like AO in coverage at all.
Yeah, coverage was pretty bad.
Yeah. Of course, the last few guys is like we talked about Izzy earlier. Like you said,
Izzy. I would love to bring Izzy back. I just don't know
if they will.
These coaching staff will. But Brock Hoffman, Carlos Watkins, I'm for bringing back. I feel like he's another like rotational depth piece, like a Chauncey Golston. We let him go to the Cardinals, and it's like, for what? He's good. He helps us. He can help us off the run, and he's chic. Like, you don't need to let guys like that go out of the building because these are good depth pieces that can help and rotate in your defensive line.
You have to learn the system, then you let them go.
Right, exactly. Like he knows the system. I just feel like there's no need to let him go. Brock Hoffman, like I said, right. I like Brock Hoffman. I mean, and I'm for if they want to, have him try out, maybe replace Zach's replacement. I don't know.
Right. That could definitely be an option, and just have Bass kind of still kind of. I love TJ Bass. I
would let him and Bass battle it out because I'm not drafting no offensive lineman high. I'm not. So I would let him and Bass battle it out.
Yeah.
And whoever wins. That's what I would do if I was the Cowboys. Brock Hoffman should not cost much. But there could be somebody who maybe likes Brock Hoffman's attitude and gives him a little because if he get a little contract, he out of here. Like, Brock Hoffman is only coming back here if he's going to get paid like $1 million. But if some team give him a little bag to say, hey, we want you to come start for us or compete, to start, he going to be out of here for sure. Because he's a center, so he wants to be a center. I'm personally not moving Cooper Beebe. We done played him the whole season at center. I'm not switching his position. I think he is the future at center for us. So it really up to Brock Hoffman, Marquise. I thought Wanye's not on this list.
I think
I don't see him, but I thought he should be on this list.
There you go. I didn't scroll all the way down.
Okay. Because I was like, Wanye, I would definitely bring back. I don't know if they are going to bring him back, but I think our two young safeties, I think you should sign both of them, honestly. They will both be cheap in Marquise Bell and Wanye. Yeah. And I think you need to ship Malik Hooker or Dono out, one of them.
Yeah.
And let these young guys play. Like Malik Hooker and Dono, great. I appreciate what they've done, but they kind of ran its course.
Yeah, and they're both paid last season. So
I'm like, just let them ride off. One of them, trade them. That's what I would do. Trade them.
Actually, while we're kind of talking about O-line, do you think that when they paid Terrence Steele, but speaking of shipping guys off, do you think that they'll even consider putting Guyton at right tackle and Awesome at left tackle, or you think Awesome would just do
I could see them moving Guyton to right tackle. Guyton said his true position is left tackle, but he obviously has the ability to pay both and to play both. So I'm for whatever they want to do with Guyton. I just think that he for sure next year needs to be a starter. He just needs to get them penalties down.
Yeah.
And Stephen White, don't do my guy BB like that. BB ain't no damn loony. BB has the ceiling of a Zach Martin. I don't know what's loony. Like, come on, man, don't do my guy BB like that. What'd you say?
Rico said that is Bland a free agent?
No.
I think so.
Wait.
I thought he was.
2002, 2003, 2004. He's due for contract at the end of 2025.
Oh, at the end.
At the end of next season is his last year. Same with Ferg.
Yeah, so okay.
Like they probably will want to get paid. Try to get paid this off season, but I don't think they're gonna get. I don't think they're gonna pay them early. They don't pay nobody early, so I highly doubt they're gonna play Bland early. Bland and Ferg will be looking to get paid. I guess at the end of that, they probably gonna do him like they did Osa, like make you play out the full year, and then we'll see without giving you a contract. And honestly, for Bland and Ferg,
both of them,
I'm not paying either of them early. I'm sorry. The consistency, the stuff, it's like, no, I'm not paying you early. We'll see what you do, and then at the end of the season, if you ball out, then we'll see about giving you a contract. But both of y'all right now, no, I'm not paying you early. And then Tyrus Weed. I like Tyrus Weed, but I mean, he was pretty replaceable.
Yeah, like I really thought he was
he's a real big guy. He's huge, but
exactly.
I mean, you can. I don't care. I mean, he's cheap, so it's like if you want to bring him back, but I mean, he's not like a must-have or whatever, like that. Right. So, yeah, so that's how I feel about these free agents. I feel like ultimately we're kind of in limbo, but we do want to start looking at the draft and stuff like that. But we really need to know who our next head coach is. It's really annoying because I feel like Jerry's gonna drag this shit out, bro, till like after the Super Bowl. Like we really may not know who our next head coach is till end of February.
And that's scary. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
you're gonna give your head coach a month and a half to prepare for the draft.
Exactly. I was just gonna say other organizations already, and it's crazy because we saw organizations like the Giants, you know what I'm saying, come out at the end of the season, you know, we're moving forward with Daboll, you know, no problem. Like if you're down for your head coach and you're gonna make a decision, you do it right away so you can start planning from, you know, at the end of December or the beginning of January, however you want to look at it. So like to Star's point, instead of having to wait till the end of February, you know, trying to, you know, get the clicks, trying to get the views, trying to throw out
get these people in here early because you want your head coach to start meet with Micah, meet with your leaders and stuff. It's like I really hope, but I don't know. I don't trust Jerry. Yeah. Jerry's the type of coach. Let everybody hire their coaches, and then at the end, then Jerry will say, I'm hiring, like, this is what Jerry does. But it's like, it's just wasting our time. It's wasting time.
Yeah.
So I really hope we could at least know who our head coach is by the mid-February would be great. Right. Mid-February would be great.
I'm hopeful for even before the Super Bowl, but you know, maybe snatch another headline, Jerry. You want to snatch some more headlines? Divisional round?
We know Jerry ain't gonna be first. Some of these coaches will. Well, I forgot Vrabel already dropped the board. So yeah, we don't see. And they said the Raiders are closing in on Ben Johnson, so that may be two. And so
Tom Brady, you know, and then no one's talking about it, but thank you, Tom Brady, for personally recruiting Ben Johnson, even though they own a stake with the Raiders. But
yeah, he definitely personally recruited. He been all. They gonna let Tom Brady. This NFL gonna let Tom Brady do what he wants.
Bro, whatever.
Now, let's be honest. They gonna let him do whatever he wants.
You on my TV 3 times a day, like, bro, like, come on.
They gonna let Tom do whatever he wants. He will not be penalized. They're never gonna investigate Tom. The NFL loves Tom, and they gonna allow him to do whatever he wants when he wants. So it's like I'm not even gonna be worried about that. It's like whatever. The Raiders got a lot of problems. So I'm like, and Ben, we're gonna see how good y'all Ben Johnson. We're gonna see how good Ben Johnson is with that roster he's gonna have because it really is
with your edge and your 2 tight ends. Let's see what's what you.
Because it really is gonna be. To me, it's looking like Ben Johnson like he's gonna be another Shane Steichen. Remember Philly's coach in 2022? He was amazing. Oh my God, Jalen Hurts MVP. Blah blah blah. What is he doing now in Indy? Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. Right. You know what I'm
saying? Back and forth between Flacco and Anthony Richardson. Trying to decide who's playing better in the moment. Like you got to go with one guy. That's like to your point earlier about Dak. Like don't bring any distraction. Don't bring another guy in. Go with your one guy. Decide. I was talking about that with Carolina and the young guy down there, Bryce Young. Like choose your guy.
Like these organizations, you got to commit to these guys because it's hard for quarterbacks to play when you're not making that commitment. Right. So that's why just to end, like the whole reason why I'm against us drafting Shedeur is because you drafting Shedeur tells Dak, we're replacing you in 2 years.
Right.
If a guy knows that he's going to be replaced in 2 years, then what do you think that's going to do to him mentally? Right. As tough as Dak is, like, and then if you upset him enough and he's like, I want the freak out of here, you're just going to have to bite the bullet. Or you're just going to have a guy refusing to play, sitting on your books and costing you millions upon millions of dollars. So I just hope they don't do nothing stupid. But
yeah.
Anyways, guys, we gave y'all a good show. It was like an hour, 30 minutes.
Like for real, yo. Like
we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
a lot to talk about. So, yeah, we appreciate all of y'all being in the chat with us, talking with us. We definitely gonna start bringing the show back to y'all. Every week we should be able to, unless like work or something. But we definitely shouldn't. We want to kick it into gear. We don't want to take any more month-long breaks.
Yeah, we definitely gonna see that in the future, y'all. Like Star said, thank you for putting in the time with us. Like she said, going the whole stretch with us for real. Like we had a steady, good audience today. Everyone was pretty much
great audience. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, just being, like you said, talking to us. Thank you, Stephen White. I know you said Tay, but we understand what you're saying, bro. We got you. Rico always coming through us. Chris 214. Yeah, get it for yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Get some claps in the chat. Like Star, she got her sound y'all. It's 2025. It's a new year. We really gonna be trying to bring some fire to the show. So make sure you guys continue.
We're trying to do all we can. We got.
Yes.
Love you guys so much. Y'all are really great.
Drake for cutting his hair too. I'm sorry, but I like the waves better. I like the waves.
Who cut his hair?
The Drake.
He cut his hair?
Yeah, they had a picture of him. I think at the basketball game with his son. No, he cut his hair.
Oh, I didn't know he cut his hair. I thought, I like Drake with his braids. Oh, he cut his hair. Okay, whatever.
I think
maybe he did cut it. I don't know. I haven't even looked at it. But anyway, thank y'all so much. This was a fire show. Like I said, we hope to just be consistent. We're gonna try to push out the content, and maybe we'll do some collabs with other content creators soon. Especially for the draft season. Yeah. I'm trying to get myself like, all right, got to get into the draft content, because before you know it, it'll be April.
Yes, facts.
So I'm gonna try to be looking into these prospects, because I'm always doing it last minute, and then from March to April, I'm just constantly. I'm like, it's so much. I'm like, if I get a head start, then you won't be having to do all of that.
Right.
Definitely gonna be trying to do draft content. Once we know who our head coach is, be talking about that. And I'm sure y'all know it's never boring here in Dallas. There's always going to be some stuff, our players talking and interviews and stuff. So we always going to have stuff to talk about. So,
and shout out to Stephen White putting the number on it. You know what I'm saying? 99 days.
99 days, still draft. So we got to push it. We got to push it. So.
Hey, you ain't lying, Stephen White. You ain't lying about
so we're gonna try to push it. That's one reason why I hope we hear but know who our head coach is, so that we can kind of know at this point, like, okay, who do we even need to be looking? What's the types this coach likes and wants?
Yeah. So that can be. I mean, that's supposed to be a topic today, but that can be our next topic. What actual needs that we need, because we know we need a running back and we need a wide receiver, but once we actually get our head coach, we kind of
we can exactly
exact players we actually need.
Exactly. And shout out to you, John Jones. But anyway, thank y'all so much. Y'all are great. Please like the video if y'all haven't already. Share and subscribe. Yes. And we hope to see y'all next Wednesday.
Yes. Peace out, you guys. Love you guys. See you.